Brother, let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly seen by a woman? Not just desired for what you had in your pocket, not just entertained for what you could give her, but seen for the man you are. Too many young men today are walking around with heavy hearts, chasing, pleasing, bending over backwards for women who don't even look at them twice. And then, when you finally meet a woman you care about, you freeze. You hold back. You're afraid of pouring out your soul because the world has taught you that vulnerability makes you weak. But let me tell you this, if you want her to pour water, if you want her to release her love, her softness, her devotion into your life, then you, my brother, must first learn how to create the environment where her spirit feels safe to overflow. This is not about tricks, games, or manipulation. This is about becoming the kind of man whose presence commands respect, whose silence speaks louder than words, and whose actions touch her at the deepest level of her feminine heart. If you're tired of begging for attention, tired of being confused, tired of feeling invisible, then listen closely. Because today, I will show you one sure way to make her pour water. Most men think strength is about having muscles, money, or a loud voice that dominates every room. But let me tell you this, true strength is not found in how much you can control, it's found in how much you can carry without losing your center. A woman doesn't pour water for a man simply because he can shout the loudest or flex the hardest. She pours water when she feels his presence is like a rock, unshakable, grounded, dependable. But that rock is also smooth enough for her to rest on. Strength with softness is what draws her in. Think about it. A man who is only strong, only hard, becomes intimidating, even cold. She may admire him, but she cannot trust him with her heart. On the other hand, a man who is only soft, who bends with every breeze, loses her respect. She may enjoy his attention, but she will never truly pour into him. Strength with softness is the balance. It's when you stand tall in your values, your vision, and your decisions, but you also hold her hand when she's trembling. It's when you discipline yourself enough to walk away from disrespect, but humble yourself enough to apologize when you're wrong. Picture this, a storm rages outside. The winds are loud, the rain is heavy. That's life. That's her emotions. That's the chaos of the world. But inside, she looks at you and you are calm. You don't run from the storm. You don't collapse under it and you don't fight it unnecessarily. Instead, you create shelter. You create a space where she feels safe, protected, and valued. That's strength. That's softness. When you master this balance, something shifts. She begins to see you not just as a man she dates, but as a man she can trust her life with. She relaxes around you. She breathes differently around you. And before you even ask, she pours water because her spirit knows this man can hold me. This man won't break me. So, brother, don't chase strength in the wrong places. Don't confuse arrogance for power or weakness for love. Build the kind of strength that comes with wisdom and the kind of softness that comes with humility. That is the one sure way to make her pour water. One of the biggest mistakes young men make is believing that women fall in love with what you can do for them instead of who you are when you're with them. Many men chase performance, buying gifts, showing off money, telling exaggerated stories, flexing achievements, all in hopes of winning her heart. But here's the truth, a woman's deepest attraction isn't awakened by performance. It's awakened by presence. Presence is not about talking more. Presence is about being fully there. When you're with her, can she feel your attention? Can she feel that the rest of the world fades away when she speaks? That you're not scrolling your phone, you're not half listening, you're not distracted with your own thoughts, but that you are locked in on her with stillness, with focus, with care. Women can sense when a man is disconnected, when he's distracted, when he's only halfway present. And when she feels that, she will withhold her true self. She won't pour water into a man who is too busy performing to even see her. Imagine this, you're sitting across from her at dinner. You don't have a fancy car parked outside. You don't have $1,000 watch on your wrist. But what you do have is your undivided presence. You listen to her words, but you also listen to her silence. You notice the way her eyes drop when she's hiding something. You feel the shift in her energy when she's holding back. You lean in, not to impress, but to connect. That is presence. presence is powerful because it tells her one thing: you matter. And when a woman feels that she matters, she softens, she opens up, she begins to reveal the parts of herself that she hides from the world. And that's when she starts to pour water. So, brother, stop performing. Stop trying to win her with things that fade. The gifts, the trips, the social media highlights, they all mean nothing if your presence is absent. Learn to put down your phone, look her in the eyes, breathe in the moment, and simply be there. Because in the end, presence outlasts performance. And presence is what makes her pour water. Men are often taught that power comes from control: control over situations, control over money, control over people. But when it comes to women, the deepest power you can ever hold is the ability to make her feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. Think about it. Every woman you meet is carrying stories, wounds, and fears you cannot see at first glance. Society tells her to be strong, to protect herself, to guard her heart. So she builds walls. She tests men. She hides her softness because she's afraid of being broken. But here's the secret: when a man creates emotional safety, he becomes the rare one who can see beyond those walls. And once she feels that safety, she will pour into you in ways that will shock you. Emotional safety is not weakness. It's not you bending over backwards or allowing disrespect. It's you creating an environment where she can exhale, where she doesn't have to pretend, where her tears are not mocked and her laughter is not silenced. It's you listening without immediately trying to fix, holding space without judgment, and being patient enough to let her unfold at her own pace. Picture this: she comes home after a rough day, her spirit heavy, her emotions messy. Most men would dismiss her or change the subject because they don't know how to handle it. But you sit with her. You ask, talk to me. What's weighing on you? And then you listen, not to reply, not to prove a point, but to understand. That moment alone tells her, here, I am safe. And when a woman feels safe, she transforms. She lets down her guard. She reveals her deepest secrets. She offers her loyalty, her softness, her nurturing heart. She pours water, not because you demanded it, but because her spirit feels free to flow. Brother, don't ever confuse hardness with strength. Any man can raise his voice, but it takes true power to create silence where her soul feels heard. Any man can buy gifts, but it takes wisdom to give her the gift of safety. That is the kind of power that makes her stay, that makes her pour, and that makes her see you as the man no one else could be. A lot of men think that desire comes from surprise trips, expensive gifts, or grand romantic gestures. And yes, those things can spark excitement. But excitement is temporary. It fades like fireworks after the sky goes dark. What truly builds lasting desire in a woman's heart is not what you do once, but what you do consistently. Consistency is the bridge between words and trust. Every time you say something and follow through, you deposit trust into her heart. Every time you show up when you said you would, you prove you are dependable. And the more she can depend on you, the more her love begins to flow without fear. But here's where many men fail. They start strong, but cannot finish strong. In the beginning, they text her every morning, call her every night, make her feel like the most important woman in the world. But then slowly, the texts stop, the calls fade, the effort dies down, and she is left wondering if the man she fell for was real or just a performance. Brother, understand this: consistency is not about perfection. You don't have to be flawless, but you do have to be reliable. A man who is consistent doesn't just win her attention, he wins her trust. And trust is what makes her pour. Think of it like planting a seed. If you water the seed one day and forget about it for 2 weeks, it dies. But if you water it steadily, day by day, week by week, the seed grows into something that feeds you for life. A woman's heart works the same way. When you nourish it with consistent care, consistent actions, and consistent respect, her love for you becomes unshakable. And here's the beautiful part: consistency builds desire because it removes doubt. She doesn't waste her nights questioning your intentions. She doesn't spend her days anxious about whether you'll disappear. She knows where you stand because your actions have proven it again and again. So stop chasing big moments and start mastering small, steady actions. Call when you say you will, show up when you promise, keep your word even in the little things. Because in the end, it's not the fireworks that make her pour water. It's the steady flame that never goes out. One of the greatest mistakes men make in relationships is putting a woman before their own mission. They think if they give her all their time, all their energy, all their focus, she'll reward them with love. But here's the hard truth, brother, a woman cannot pour water into a man who has no cup of his own. Purpose is the cup. Purpose is what shapes your identity, your discipline, your direction in life. Without it, you drift. You become needy. You begin to depend on her for validation, for motivation, for a sense of meaning. And when a woman senses that, she pulls back, not because she doesn't care, but because she cannot respect a man who abandons himself to chase her. Think of it this way, a man on his mission is magnetic. He's not desperate for attention because he already knows where he's going. He's not shaken by rejection because his purpose anchors him. He's not begging for love because he's too busy building. And that energy, that sense of direction, that drive, is what makes a woman admire you, desire you, and choose to pour into you. Pleasure without purpose will always leave you empty. Nights out, casual flings, quick highs, they might fill the moment, but they never fill the soul. Purpose, on the other hand, gives your life weight. It commands respect. It gives you clarity. It makes you the kind of man women want to follow, not just flirt with. Brother, you must understand women are naturally drawn to leaders, to men who have a vision bigger than themselves. When she sees you grinding, when she sees you sacrificing, when she sees you walking with conviction, something awakens in her. She doesn't just see a boyfriend, she sees a man worth building a future with. And when she feels that, she pours water willingly, joyfully, without hesitation. So don't lose yourself in the chase for pleasure. Build yourself in the pursuit of purpose. Make your mission clear, your path steady, your discipline unshakable. Because when you stand rooted in purpose, you don't have to beg for love. It flows to you. That's the power of purpose before pleasure. Leadership is one of the most misunderstood qualities in relationships. Too many men think leadership means domination, telling her what to do, where to go, how to act. They mistake control for strength. But in reality, control suffocates. It kills trust.